Well, things are about to get very interesting in Europe because for the first time in history, a NATO member is shifting away from the European Union and instead declaring that its future is with China and the BRICS alliance. Make no mistake, this is all part of an unraveling that we are seeing across Europe as the war in Ukraine is nowhere close to being over and in fact is escalating by the day, to the point where we could now see Western troops soon fighting against their Russian counterparts in Ukraine. Just look at what has happened since Joe Biden authorized Ukraine to use US missiles and strike Russian territory. For the first time in history, the Kremlin has now declared the United States an enemy, and now Putin has publicly stated that Russia can provide long-range weapons to strike Western targets.
Кто-то считает возможным поставлять такое оружие в зону боевых действий для нанесения ударов по нашей территории и создания проблем для нас, то почему у нас нет права поставлять наше оружие такого же класса в те регионы мира, где будут наноситься удары по чувствительным объектам тех стран, которые делают это в отношении России?
This is, of course, right after NATO announced it has plans to get U.S. troops on the front line to fight in Russia and is actively developing land corridors to quickly funnel soldiers through Central Europe. Here is a map detailing exactly what these land corridors look like. These new corridors will extend from Scandinavia in the north all the way down to Turkey in the south. But here is where things get interesting. Turkey has been a NATO member since 1952 and is home to the second largest army in the NATO alliance. It goes without saying that Turkey is extremely important to NATO, but while most of the West was distracted with the 34 counts of felonies against Donald Trump last week, a very strategic meeting took place in Beijing. Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan met with his Chinese counterpart Wang Yi in Beijing to discuss Turkey's future economic growth. Turkey has been waiting on EU membership for 20 years. The harsh truth is that they're never going to get it. The main reason they were allowed into NATO in the first place was their strategic location on the Black Sea. But the idea of allowing a full Muslim state into the EU has proven too big for most Europeans to accept. After decades of mistreatment and broken promises from the EU, Turkey is now ready to move in a new direction and shift its future to China and other BRICS countries for better economic prospects. In fact, those were the exact words of the Turkish foreign minister, who said that China-led BRICS alliance could offer Turkey a, quote, good alternative to the European Union. Now, in reality, I don't blame Turkey at all for wanting to switch alliances. Europe has been in a massive decline over the past few years and are facing a difficult future as they try to find their position in our new multipolar world. The reality of this situation was highlighted in this article, Will Europe Be the World's Biggest Loser?, which highlights Russia's war against Ukraine, the Sino-American rivalry, and the rise of new middle powers is spurring a profound reorganization of international order that will leave Europe at a distinct disadvantage. We actually did a full deep dive on the decline of the German economy and how blindly following the US government's wishes has resulted in a record 2 out of 3 German companies moving at least part of their company abroad. The future of Europe is indeed very gloom. And if you want to learn more, stay tuned to the end and I'll link that video for you to watch. But for now, European eyes will be on the Turkish foreign minister, who revealed his hope that Turkey will become a full BRICS member later this year. The Turkish foreign minister Hakan Fidan will next travel to Russia this week and meet with the other foreign ministers of BRICS countries in a run-up meeting that will set the stage for BRICS' largest annual meeting of BRICS presidents in October. As you can imagine, the potential of Turkey, who is a NATO member and holds the second largest NATO army, joining the BRICS alliance is probably the last thing the West wants to see right now. In fact, when this news broke, the Kremlin immediately came out supporting Turkey's decision, and this of course was followed by China's foreign minister Wang Yi stating, China is ready to strengthen strategic alignment with Turkey to counter power politics on the international stage. China is willing to continue to strengthen coordination and cooperation with the Turkish side within the framework of the United Nations and the Group of 20 to oppose all forms of hegemony and power politics and to maintain the stability of the global supply chain. This is a textbook quote from China's government, who once again sees Turkey's ascension into the BRICS alliance as a very strategic move. China and Russia are the 2 most prominent BRICS members, and once again, we'll see an important meeting between all presidents of BRICS member states this October in Russia. The BRICS organization will launch its own currency for international trade and make a formal decision on which new countries will be admitted into this popular BRICS alliance. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said last week there are more than 40 countries expressing interest in joining BRICS, and which countries will be admitted to the group will be the primary agenda of October's annual meeting. This article from Coin Tribune reveals that 7 new nations are eyeing BRICS membership in 2024, and those countries include Cameroon, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Syria, Thailand, Venezuela, and Zimbabwe. Thailand would represent a major addition to the BRICS alliance, as it would be the first country from Southeast Asia to join BRICS and has been largely seen as a U.S. ally in global affairs up until this point. Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif landed in Beijing last Tuesday to kick off an official visit whose goal is to enhance ties between China and Pakistan and push forward the development of the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, also named CPEC. Once again, I've done a deep dive on this project and why Pakistan is so important to the future of China and the entire BRICS alliance. Once again, I'll link that video for you to watch at the end of today as well. But finally, I want to switch gears here and tell you about today's video sponsor, who plays directly into these global events we are witnessing in real time. Now, if you're an investor, I want you to pay attention to this next segment, because today's video sponsor plays directly into these emerging trends of de-dollarization and the global shift we've seen against the US dollar. Now, the sponsor of today's video is DeFi Technologies. I'll put their ticker symbol here on the screen, and I believe there is a great opportunity with this company, because behind the noise of Donald Trump's guilty verdict and Biden's allowing Ukraine to fire US missiles inside of Russia, the Biden administration just vetoed Congress's crypto custody, which will restrict US citizens' freedom in transacting in crypto, once again resulting in more government overreach from the Biden administration. But here is the incredible thing. This shift has given an opportunity for Donald Trump, who, despite the guilty verdicts, will continue his run towards the White House this November. No surprise here, Trump is now taking a favorable position with crypto and is even discussing with Bitcoin experts if the cryptocurrency could be used as a solution for the $35 trillion national debt. Now, the opportunity with DeFi Technologies is special because we have a profitable, growing, and undervalued company with brand recognition and a huge competitive advantage. Now, one of my favorite people I follow on Twitter is Anthony Pompliano. He is one of the most knowledgeable crypto investors and insiders, and Pomp, which is what he is known by in the crypto world, founded Reflexivity Research, which is a subsidiary of DeFi Technologies, today's show sponsor. Here is what Pomp had to say about DeFi after they released their financials. Regardless of how you cut the numbers, I still believe DeFi Technologies is undervalued. Given this additional information in the latest earnings report, I believe DeFi Technologies has a good chance of being one of the best performers from any stock that was pitched at the Sohn conference in April. But Pomp has skin in the game and shares his thoughts on the valuation of this company. I'm not merely sharing my opinion though. I am a shareholder of DeFi Technologies that will benefit if the market figures out the company is undervalued, and I will be financially punished if the company ends up not performing how I believe it will. I love it when smart minds actually have skin in the game and are actually putting their money on the line with these emerging technologies. But let's get into the business of DeFi Tech and explain exactly what they're doing and why the company is already so profitable. Now, the crown jewel of DeFi is Valor Asset Management. I'm sure you heard of ETFs before. Well, Valor creates ETPs, which is the equivalent of ETFs in Europe. With Biden and Trump both going back and forth on crypto in the United States, Valor has become a profitable growth business that has grown revenue 78% in the last year and currently has over $600 million in assets under management. Investors in traditional markets and on Wall Street want exposure to potential 10x to 100x opportunities just as much as crypto investors do. And this is exactly what Valor is doing and why they've been able to attract meaningful capital to their ETPs. Now let's look at the most recent earnings report, and DeFi Technologies achieved its strongest financial quarter to date. Total operating revenues were $13.4 million for Q1 2024, which is nearly 4 times more than the $3.6 million reported in the same quarter of 2023. This company continues to grow and expand very quickly, and I think given the geopolitical trends of countries moving away from the US dollar and the rise of de-dollarization, this company will receive additional tailwinds to continue help it grow. Valor's assets under management has grown more than 800% from December 2022 until today. There are very few businesses in the world who can see this type of revenue acceleration in such a short amount of time. The stock is currently undervalued given the fact that the company is already profitable and rapidly growing revenues. 99% of the world's companies trade at 20 times profits, but DeFi Technologies is currently trading at only 3 times profits. So there is a massive opportunity here, as you know the world will continue to move away from the US dollar and look to alternatives like cryptocurrencies. But as always, please do your own due diligence and your own research before making any investments. And to help you do your own research, I'm going to put the investor presentation, the company website, the stock ticker, and also the list of current assets under management, all in the video description down below for you to analyze. As always, we're going to continue monitoring the BRICS alliance, de-dollarization, and these emerging trends that are changing geopolitics around us every single day. Everyone, my name is Cyrus Jansen, coming to you on the road here in June 2024. Thank you all for your amazing support, and I can't wait to see you in our next video soon.